The grid. A digital frontier. I kept dreaming of a world I thought I'd never see.
If there is a new world, out there is our victory! Out there is our destiny.
Okay, so it's not a big of a surprise that I adored the Tron franchise. One of the most underrated forms of media I've ever seen from Disney. You have Disney doing Star Wars, the MCU, but never really Tron. I think it's mostly underused in my opinion. You had a cancelled sequel that never came out, a cancelled season and a show, and then Ares flopped. This series could not catch a break. So as a Tron fan, I'm gonna just tell about my love for the Tron movies and series too. I'm gonna start by Tron 82 and then ready to go all the way to Ares, which, spoiler alert, it's not as bad as I thought. So much potential in this franchise, and now Disney talking about they're not gonna do more. I hope it's not true. Alright, that's my rant. I'm done for today, and let's begin.
Pretty good driving. Who asked you?
If I have to be really honest with you, I have never seen the original. I know, it's shocking. When Disney announced it was making a brand new Tron movie, I figured why not go back and watch the first one. And as the original, I really enjoyed it, and I think this is just a respectable start on its own. In all fairness, I don't really think that the story is groundbreaking. It's actually pretty basic. A game developer tries to get his gaming rights from the shady Dillinger and tries to hack the master control, but it didn't like that, so it sends him to the gaming grid. The same master control didn't like that Alan Bradley said that Tron is an independent system program and he'll keep an eye on it. There's not really much to say for Tron other than the fact that it is a fun movie. It is cheesy, maybe a little bit campy, but at the same time, I don't really mind it being that way. Same with the CGI. I'm not gonna bash it too hard since it came out in 1982, but I'm sure it stand out well at its time. Like I've said before, there's not really much to say about this movie other than the fact that I love 80s movies and I wanted to watch it. So I watched it 6 times. Yeah, I had no shame. There is a direct sequel of this film called Tron 2.0, and since it's actually a video game, I have not played this, so I can't give you a correct opinion of how good or bad that game is, so I can't really tell you. Since that film is so underrated, it also flopped at the box office. Yeah, what do you want me to tell you? If you love just 80s films or want to start with Tron, I highly recommend the OG, because if we see more viewers, maybe we can get a Tron 4, right? Right? I'm sorry, I'm delusional. I want a part 4. If you could have asked me what movie really started my love for the Tron franchise, and no doubt it was obviously Legacy. This movie is the one I'm familiar with and actually the one that I grew up on for many years. You could just rewatch this or even watch this for the first time and the CGI will still be outmatched. This movie came out 28 years after the original and it doesn't feel like it's made from that era. It feels like it could be made today. It also made the most in the franchise, ranking up to $400 million, which is actually not that bad for Tron. However, there's like a lot of things I want to say because like I said, I love Tron Legacy. I've seen it like 8 times and there's a lot of things I want to say, so let's just get it out of the way. Number 1, the visual effects is a huge jump over the original. Where could I even begin? There's like so much I want to choose, but I can't decide. The part where Sam Flynn enters the grid and has a recognizer in full view, it was just incredible. This is supposed to be Kevin Flynn's grid, and by means, it is absolutely stunning. You have the arena, the light cycle battles, which is one of my favorites in Legacy. If you ever want a time to show off your movie display, the light cycle battle is one of them because it is just demo material. Love the racing sequences, even the color of the bikes. I need to stop talking about it because this movie actually rocks. Disney really went all out for the CGI. The light jets, the wingsuits, the end of line club, the identity disc, the suits, the grid itself, programs, and you get the idea. It was peak to me then and it's still peak to me now. There's not much I can say other than the fact that it is one of my favorites. The story is a bit of an improvement over its predecessor. Is it groundbreaking? Well, not really, but the ending had me emotional, and with the end with Clara seeing the real world with the Daft Punk score, it was just nice. It's a bit weird that it didn't get a nomination for best score or win it. It's kind of odd, but like I said, very good improvement over the last movie. It's already going down as a classic, as is nearly there to be 4 years to its 20th anniversary. Are you old yet? Now we're gonna do the characters, which I should have done already for the original. We're gonna start with, like, if I like them, I'm gonna talk about it. If I don't, I don't. Now let's start with the obvious in the way. We're gonna start with Rinsler. He was doing unnecessary flips from start to finish, and I still think that was cool. I don't care what no one says. Sam Lilly threw a disc at Rinsler to save Cora, and he still be doing flips. He's just doing this for the love of the game. One of the best parts is when Rinsler gained consciousness, becomes Tron again, and starts saying, "I fight for the users," and I was just hyped when I heard that. And nextly, we have Zeus. He was not taking things seriously, not one bit. Programs was literally fighting and getting derez in his club, and he's over there dancing on his private lounge. It was just funny, so funny. When he took the disc from one of Clue's soldiers, he was over there with his cane dancing. I couldn't take him seriously. It was just all too weird and funny. I'm sure Michael Sheen had the time of his life when he did this, and if he was having fun, I honestly do not blame him. It looked fun. And useless fun fact, this was directed by Joseph Kosinski, which you may know by F1, Top Gun, and also this movie. I have seen his other films like Oblivion and Only the Brave, and they're actually pretty solid movies. I haven't seen Spiderhead though, so no comment. You'd think when Top Gun Maverick won $1 billion, you'd think that they will greenlit his sequel again. But they didn't. They still didn't. Disney is just petty. They would rather make any other movie than make Tron Ascension. Till this day, I am just so confused why they're not doing that. In the meantime, I think the legacy is a bit better than 1982. You might not agree with that, you might do, but to me, it is. Before I end this up to Uprising, I want to ask some of you a few questions, and it's about the 3D. What do you think about it? Do you think 3D is a better viewing experience? Let me know whoever has it. That's all I have to say. Now we're moving on to the other Tron that deserve a second season. I don't know why Disney canceled it. So like with 82, this is the one I also haven't seen, and I can tell I was missing out. When I had Disney Plus at the time, I wanted to check it out because I was like, oh, something Tron related. I'm sure it'll be good. And then like first episode in, I didn't expect that. It was more than good. It was actually amazing. And compared to the original and Legacy, to me, this is basically the most well-written story in the franchise. It begins with Beck getting interrogated by Rinsler, telling Rinsler that Tron lives, only to tell him that, hey, he's actually alive, and putting him as his protege, the Renegade. Besides from all that, you really have programs out there throwing hands in every episode. Like, it could literally start off normal, like people just talking and all, and then all of a sudden they start throwing hands halfway through the episode. If I were to put my favorite fights in here, one of them is easily the Tron vs. Dyson fight. I'm speechless. He thought he was fighting Beck himself. All of a sudden, he realizes he was fighting Tron instead. I was crying. And it made sense since that Dyson betrayed Tron and joined Clue instead. I'd be upset too. The next one I want to add is the Beck and Cutler fight when they was in the arena. I can't even find the scene, but there's this one part where they were in literal chains and they still beat up programs, even with one arm being loose. At this point, you're over there to tell Tesla, how are you sorry at your own court? Love the character building throughout the season, and it had a lot of all-stars in this show. We had Elijah Wood, Frodo from Lord of the Rings playing Beck. I was like, yeah, I've seen enough. This show's already good already. My only complaint about Uprising is that it ended on a cliffhanger. You can tell it was supposed to have a second season, but Disney decided, nah, we're gonna cancel it just right away. There was voting polls to get back a second season for this series, but it just didn't work out really well. Which really sucks, because I really wish Disney would continue Beck's story and see how it would be against Clue's reign of terror. And this is between the original and Tron Legacy, so I kinda wanna see what Tron is like when he fully becomes Rinsler, but I guess we'll never know what happened. I've watched most of Disney shows growing up, like Lab Rat, Shake It Up, Good Luck Charlie, etc., but I wish I would have watched Uprising when it first came out. That would have been an amazing feeling. This series is literally the best in the franchise and really a big what if to the scenario. What if this had a season 2, or what if this had a conclusion we will all been waiting for, but I guess it never happened because Disney decided they want to be greedy. I can't stress this enough. If you're a Tron fan, I recommend this show. Show some love to Uprising. It is so underrated, but yeah. This show had so much potential. You can tell it had love and care behind it. But once again, Disney did not give this a chance, and I'm still mad. But that's all I have to say for Uprising. Now up to the next one.
What?
And lastly, I'm going to talk about Tron Ares, which is very recent. It just came out like 3 months ago. I know almost a lot of people do not like this movie, so you're not going to like my opinion after this. I didn't think it was as bad as I thought. This is actually a really solid entry. Is it better than its predecessors? Obviously not, but it is actually a really good movie. Since the movie just came out, this will obviously have spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, which respectfully half of you are ignorant, you could skip this part if you please. This movie is 15 years after Legacy and is actually Ascension, except Joseph Kosinski is not the director this time. It was directed by the dude who made the worst Pirates movie I've ever seen in theaters, but I thought he did it alright in this one. I am aware Jared Leto is in this movie, and despite the weird things he's done, he actually did a solid job as Ares. I don't think he ruined the movie per se, the role really fits well for him, so that's really that. Jodie Smith-Turner as Athena is actually not a bad character as a villain. She's actually pretty scary when she was chasing Eve down the road, but yeah, pretty good character, not bad. Then you have Evan Peters as Julian Dillinger, and just like in the X-Men movies, he carried this one all together. Loved his performance in this, even though he's a bit loony throughout the movie, but he did really well. Jeff Bridges is here as Flynn again, but only for like 3 to 5 minutes, but really cool to see him again in a Tron movie. Also, there's VIDS, so happy to see him again. And Greta Lee as Eve Kim was just alright. I mean, she's good, just not my favorite out of the bunch, you know. Alright, I am done with that. Now we can get on to the story, and I have a lot to say about the story. Number 1, Sam Flynn leaving NCOM. What was that? Which was weird, considering that at the end of Legacy, he was telling Ellen that he's taking the company back. Now they're saying he left the company due to personal reasons. What could be the personal reasons? If it's Cora, I understand, but there's like no exclamation why he left. So for the first time ever, they've actually added a Dillinger grid that was never seen before in a Tron franchise. You've seen the gaming grid from 82, you've seen Kevin Flynn's grid in 2010, now we're seeing a Dillinger grid. That is actually pretty cool concept. Since Ares is master control and all that, unfortunately he can only go to the real world for only 29 minutes. Again, really cool concept. The problem is that the story kind of falls flat in my opinion. While it's all over the place, I'm pretty sure we don't care about the story. We're only here for the visuals and the soundtrack. Oh, speaking of that, the 9 Inch Nails soundtrack absolutely slaps. I don't care what no one say. This one scene where Ares is getting chased and I Know You Can Feel It was playing, it was a banger. I replayed that song like 7 times. I do that to the whole album too. There was a mid-credit scene where Dillinger went into the grid, he grabbed the identity disc and he became Stark. The first time we ever saw him after like 43 years. This was supposed to be set up as a Tron 4 type of sequel, but after the movie flopped, I am not sure if we're gonna get it anytime soon. There's some talk saying that Disney might retire the franchise after the flop for Ares, but I don't think that's the case. They're probably gonna make another movie just for the Disney park rides, you know, that type of thing. So whoever called Tron Ares the worst movie of the year, you must be greatly mistaken, because War of the Worlds is right there. I saw Tron Ares in theaters and I actually had a lot of fun with it. In fact, I actually have a poster on my wall and a movie for it, so I have no shame. I love it, so I don't care. I'm obviously gonna support this until we get a Tron 4, because obviously we need to know what happened to Sam and Cora. I need them back, please. But I heard Jared Leto is going to play Skeletor in the He-Man movie. I hope you don't mess this up, because I saw what happened to Morpheus, trust me. And just like that, I am done. Yay! I appreciate you for watching all the way to the end as I spend all night trying to finish half the video right now. We're gonna continue the schedule with 1917, which probably will be a bit shorter than this video right now. But as always, people, I love you, but Jesus loves you more. I will see you in the next upload. Have a good night or day, depending on where you live at.